Hey guys, welcome back to Zambri Watches. Today I am building my first customer watch. Someone is paying me to build this watch for the first time. Now, this person also happens to be my dad, but we are building my dad a GMT watch on the NH34 movement. And you can see I picked out this nice black dial. What I'm doing first is I need to line up the feet onto the holes in which you could push it onto the movement. So this gives you a few options of feet here. And we're going to cut the feet that don't line up. So there's 4 sets of feet. We only need 2. You want to cut off the ones that don't line up with the little hole there. I know it's kind of hard to see right now the way I'm filming it, but I'll show you real quick in a sec. So now I'm going to clip off the extra feet with the flush cutters here. I want to make sure that none of the clippings go into the movement. Obviously, you don't want that to go into the works. So just be very careful to make sure they don't go in there. And then I'm going to take the Dremel here and sand down those little nubs so that it's completely flush, so that it is perfectly in line with the movement. There's no separation between the dial and the movement itself. You can pick up one of these Dremels for like 15 bucks. You could also get the metal filer that I have up there. I really prefer the Dremel. It's a lot easier, but once that's done, you just push it into place and there you go. You've got your dial set perfectly onto your movement. Now I'm just going to figure out exactly where, make sure everything's working, and then figure out exactly where midnight is. So midnight is where we want to set the watch so that it flips over with the date accurately. And the first thing we're going to do here is remove this pin on the back. We're going to move the crown stem by pushing down on that little button there. I've showed it in a couple other videos, but we're going to pull out the stem now and just take a peek at how it looks in the case. I haven't put this watch dial in the case yet, so I just want to see how it fits. Fits really nicely. I think it works really well together. So I like the way that those little waves bounce kind of off the dial. I really like it. Definitely gives it that under the sea kind of vibe that you're looking for with a dive watch. So now we can pop the stem back in and like I said, set it to midnight. Once we see it flip, we know that we are at directly midnight and we can put on all of our hands at those hours and be lined up. So now I'm going to put the GMT hand on using this watch pusher, hand pusher. And the GMT hand points to another time zone. So you can set it to another time. It'll tell you that time in 24 hours, independent of what time zone you have your regular hour and minute hand set to. What I'm about to learn while doing this is that I don't have the right size hand pusher. This is way bigger than what I have, so I have to get a little bit creative with it. But also, my friend decided now was going to be a good time to pop in while I was working on this. So in a couple seconds, you'll hear him coming. I'm just going to play that because I think it's funny. But yeah, so just trying to fit this GMT hand on it did not go very well, and I'll let the film talk for itself.
You could be in it. I don't put my face in it, but you could be in the background. You could talk to me while I do it. Oh my. Look at this. Jesus Christ, bro. What's up, guys? So today we're going to be making a...
It's a GMT watch, actually. What does GMT mean?
Greenwich Mean Time?
Yeah, it actually does.
Good job.
I'll show you when I'm done. This watch is for my dad.
Cool. Did you finish Williams yet?
Yeah, I did.
So here I actually had to push on the GMT hand with 2 pushers, which is pretty ridiculous, and I messed up a lot. I actually cut out a lot of me messing up too. You have to put the perfect amount of pressure on every single side to make it perfectly level, which is tough to do when you don't have something circular that's applying pressure on all sides at the same time. As you can see here, I had to take it off. I was kind of in a little bit of a rush to get this to my dad, so I ended up just going forward like this, and it does work. It just takes more time. I would recommend just getting the tools and doing it right, but whatever works for you. So I sped this up because, again, this isn't even the final step because I made another mistake here by not only putting it on the right place, I forgot to put on the logo. But what you can basically see is once it's in place and everything's lined up, you want to just make sure that it's jumping correctly. So see here, it jumps by an hour. You can set it an hour ahead at a time and change the 24-hour time zone. So here I am again to pay for my sins. I had to take the hand that I just spent so much time putting on off because, like in the last video, I forgot to put the dial on before, sorry, not the dial, the sticker on before the hands. This time it was a lot easier to line it up, make sure it's center, push it on there. The only problem was this letter Y was giving me so much trouble coming off. It's done that in the past, but this time was especially bad. I tried to go in with tweezers and just push it into place, but you could see right about there, it's just completely messed up there. I was really worried I was going to have to completely redo it, but thankfully it's looking good now. Yeah, so again, we have to put on the GMT hand, and this has been a trend with not just this GMT watch, but a lot of the others, so I'm not going to talk through this again. You know what the drill is at this point, but I will say I did get a little bit sick halfway through recording this. That's why my voice might sound a little bit weird, but I also got a new microphone. I'm sure you can tell the quality is definitely better. We're moving up big time in the world. Got a lot of good stuff planned. The AliExpress 11/11 sale is actually going on while I record this, so I got like 6 watches. It should be great. We've got a lot of stuff coming up in the future, so it's gonna be really cool. And I hope you guys can subscribe, maybe leave a comment on if you like it or not, send it to somebody, whatever. This is just one of my passions, trying to maybe use one of my hobbies to help pay for school or something like that. But yeah, it's something that I genuinely love to do, and I hope you guys do too. So if you need any recommendations or anything, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message, whatever. I'm happy to help you guys find the right tools or the right parts on AliExpress. So after what feels like decades, we're done with the GMT hand. We can finally move on to the hour and minute hand. And comparatively, this was a cakewalk because I had the right size pushers. When you have the right size pushers, all you got to do is just push it down, and you got to make sure it's level. So just checking to make sure that it's perfectly parallel to the other hands, to the dial, and pushing down that front just a little bit more because it needed a little bit more juice. Once that's done, we can add the minute hand, which is equally simple. Using a similar pusher, you just push it right onto that. It's friction held, so you don't need to push too hard. Again, you just want to make sure it's parallel. If you do put too much pressure one way or the other, it will slope down or slope up, and it'll have some friction or run into some of the other hands, and that can be trouble down the line. It might cause your watch to stop, so you want to make sure you check, like I am right now, that everything lines up, nothing's hitting each other, it's all smooth sailing. So it looks pretty good right now. I think I'll probably nitpick this a little bit like I usually do, but just testing to make sure that the date flips over like within 30 minutes of hitting midnight, which it does. That's pretty good for the NH34, so pretty happy with how that looks, and everything's looking great. Now, on a normal three-handed watch build, this is the worst part. This is the seconds hand. This is usually a big problem. It is a tiny, tiny, tiny little hole that you have to put it in. It is perfectly set in there. If you put too much pressure, the seconds hand will bend. So I really recommend getting a little piece of Rodico like I have to help hold the hand while you get it there so you don't scratch it with tweezers. But once you have it in, a gentle push will put it right into place. I'm just making sure nothing hits each other. And like I said, once you have it in, you can wind the watch a little bit and the seconds hand will just go. You'll feel it go. I'm making sure there's completely no friction, no hitting each other there. And as you can see here, we've got a nice, clean, sweeping seconds hand now. And that's probably my favorite part of an automatic movement, is just seeing how nice the seconds hand ticks. So we've got a beautiful logo on our dial. We've got nice hands, nice gold hands to go with the yellow bezel. And I love the way the design of this dial is. I think it really catches the light really in cool ways. So now we're going to just clean the entire crystal. This is something that you want to put a lot of effort into now so that you don't have to spend a lot of time later trying to get out a little piece of dust. Once you have it clean, I'm going to hit it with the air blower just to make sure there's no dust in there. This is something that it's not a huge deal, but to me it's pretty important. You want to make sure all parts of your watch looks great and there's nothing trapped in there. Now to put the movement on, you just set the case on top of it, and you're going to use that pad there to flip it over just to make sure you don't damage the movement, and we're set. So the one thing I did forget to buy was a spacer, so I later put the spacer in. That helps keep the movement in place. It's a little plastic piece, but now I'm trying to fit the crown stem. This is something I haven't done on camera on the channel, and I realized this is something I should probably show. It's kind of annoying. So the stem comes very long on purpose. So what you're going to want to do is get a set of calipers and measure the distance between the crown itself to the edge of the case to see how much of that stem you need to cut off. So now what you want to do is push down on that pin again to pull the crown stem out. This is pretty simple to do, especially when you have it laying on a movement holder or a little pad like that. Makes it way easier, I promise. It's a lot harder to do if you're filming with one of the hands. Now you're going to want to unscrew the crown and measure with those calipers again the amount that you have to take off. Once you've cut it, you're going to screw that crown back on. You can also file down the sharp edge with a Dremel or a metal file, and you're going to put it back in and see if it is the right length. So here, this is just a little bit too big, which is a good problem to have. I always cut to leave a little bit extra. I never want to cut too short. That's a big problem. Too long, easy to take off more. Too short, big problem. So this is the perfect length. This is the second cut. Once I've got this in place here, you can see that I can wind the watch, and then I can push it down and screw it in all the way with no resistance. It's not harming the movement, nothing like that. So you can see here that I'm just pushing it down and screwing it in with those threads. Everything looks good. So all done with the crown stem. Now we can set the time, everything. Now one thing that you never want to forget is lubricating the gasket here. This keeps it waterproof. So you just put the gasket in this little thing that you can get from AliExpress for like $2. It lubricates it for you, and then you can either put it in the case back, which I'm showing here, but this is not where mine goes, in the case back or in the actual case itself, which is where mine goes. This the more you lubricate it, the better it'll be at holding a good seal, making sure no water gets in your watch, which when you're building a watch like this, a diver's watch for someone like my dad who's very adventurous, I know he's not going to baby the watch. Got to make sure that it's very waterproof. So that was one of the main motivators for getting this watch, and the screw down crown. So once this is all good, we're just going to screw the case back on with this little ball, this inflatable ball. I love this thing. It's amazing. It has a lot of friction on it, so it's really easy to grab the case back and tightly screw it on without putting too much force on it. So it's like the perfect amount because you don't want to over screw it. I could not get this bracelet to go on, so I did it off camera, and I'll show you in the B-roll. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you for the next watch build.